he's adamant he had a bigger chest than you, but anyway, yeah. No, great. But yeah, so this guy, I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite emotionally driven when it comes to Coyote, but what I really need to point out is that Coyote, yeah, the other day I had a home event. I said to him, Coyote, can you come on to share your story? My man started talking like he just won President of America, brother. I didn't understand what was going on. He started telling me about history and that. And literally, my boss was sitting there like, and I was like, listen, Coyote, listen, I don't care what you're doing tomorrow, yeah? You're free tomorrow for my home event again, you understand? So, please, get your pens, your paper out, and take in what Coyote's about to share with us. So please, handing it over now to Golden Leader.
Thanks for introduction, Lewis. And for me, I just want to start by bigging up Phil, because Phil was someone throughout when I started it helped me literally go from affiliate to where I am right now. And I have a feeling that Facebook is about to explode tonight. You know what I'm saying? Someone might want to drop Mark Zuckerberg a quick email and let him know that, because there's going to be some serious fire. Now, one of the biggest things I took from Phil, what he just mentioned, was that have fun on Facebook. I'm going to call it FOF. F-O-F, fun on Facebook. And to start, what I'm going to do now is just take a quick selfie. He said take selfies, so I'm just going to take a quick selfie of myself about to speak, and then I'm going to upload it for one of my free. Feel free to get in and smile, you don't have to like act it bad.
Tyrone takes 20 burns, so he took up the whole camera.
Yeah, man. Sorry. So I'm just going to begin. I'm going to begin. Oh my god, that shouldn't be there. Okay, cool. So before I start, I just want to get one volunteer. Just one volunteer. I did not feel, but I saw what? How many people have you got here about Jay? About 100? And I saw 3 hands. So I'm going to pick Ashley. Everyone give Ashley a massive round of applause. All I want you to do is to stand here right now in front of everybody, count to 10, but miss out 7. Really loud. Count to 10, but miss out 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Everyone give him a massive round of applause. If anybody don't know what I just gave Ashley, I gave Ashley a Verve Mojo. They're not out in the UK yet, but Ashley's got one of the only ones right now. Now the reason,
Return of Steve.
the reason why I gave Ashley a Mojo, because I asked for 1 volunteer. Only 3 people put their hands up. Now I have a quote that says, "Fortune always favors the bold." Fortune always favors the bold. For me, I'm the type of person whereby I'd rather say yes to something that I have no idea what it is. I may not even like it. I'd rather say yes to that than to say no to find out that I could have loved it. So fortune always favors the bold. Wherever you are, hope you enjoy that. Have it cold. Cool. Yeah, this is the thing that Now this leads on to my next example. Some of you guys may have heard it before. Because when you're faced with a circumstance like that in life, when you have a choice to either do something or not do it, a lot of us tend to freeze. Oh, someone just put your hand out, I just want to volunteer. To be fair, Sim, you did. To be fair, you did. Right, even now you want to volunteer, you think I've got that mojo in there. So people tend to freeze. Like, it's right to the story of this guy. It might not have been this guy. He was a prisoner. And the following morning, he was facing a firing squad. So the officer who took him from his cell said that you have a choice. In the morning, you can face a firing squad at 6 a.m. They're going to ring out 6 shots. They'll kill you. Or what you can do, you can take the second option and walk through this door. The prisoner said to him, "What's through the door?" The officer said, "I don't know, I think it's just very scary, there's some mad horrors." So he decided to face the firing squad. 6 o'clock, They killed him. So the officer went back to his governor and said, Governor, the person who runs the prison, Governor, I gave him the choices, but what is actually through that door? The governor said, freedom. So sometimes you just have to, literally just have to take that mark. It doesn't matter if you don't know what the final destination is going to be, sometimes you just have to do it. Because psychologically, we go through it as human beings, psychologically, we have something called fight or flight. When we have a choice, we can have a fight, like Ashley did, Sim did, Phil put up his hand, you can fight, or you can fly. No, I'm not interested. No, I'm not volunteering. I have no idea what it is. I'm not interested. I'm not on it. That's something that we have to overcome. And especially within this finish, you have to overcome the fight or flight. But let me introduce myself. I've been talking, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name's Kayode Damali. I'm my mum and dad's son. I'm my sister's brother, and I'm my brother's keeper. Now, I'm the type of person, I firmly believe in this quote by Dr. Steve Maraboli, don't let your history interfere with your destiny. I firmly believe that because your past doesn't equal your future. It doesn't matter where you come from, you can be whatever you can be anything you want to be. And we've had many stories of this today. What I also believe is that even though your past doesn't make you, even though your past doesn't necessarily even break you, your past can definitely most shape you. Your past can shape you, and the reason why I say that is because experience has been shown time and time again to be the best teacher. Now I've heard Phil say many times, it doesn't matter about your genetics, your experience you can learn a lot from your experiences. So what I want to do right now is take you guys straight down memory lane, because some of you guys don't know how I actually got to standing where I am right now, and exactly might not know anything about me, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite quiet in the groups. So it all started back then. I'm not going to go that far. Because we'll be here all day. But what I want to do start is my teens when I was in college. Now, because we're very like postcode, you know what it's like. So when it came to my results day from college, I failed, meaning that I didn't get into the university so I wanted to. So at the time, I thought my life was over, like literally completely over. But then I was reading a book called Outwitting the Devil. I know that Leon Pinnock read it, for example, which says that for every adversity contains the equivalent seed of opportunity. So what that meant is that I had to go through something called a clearing process for university. Because I failed, I had to go through the clearing process. And for those of you who don't know, that's where you literally cold called universities and begged them, please can you let me in, please can you let me in, no. Please can you let me in, what grade did you get? I didn't pass, okay, no. Please can you let me in. To cut a long story short, Manchester, my Metropolitan University, they let me in. Now, back in London, I couldn't change the people around me, but thanks to me moving away from uni, I could change the people around me, literally. And to cut a long story short, I was fortunate to graduate in 2013 with a first class honours in psychology. I then became elected executive vice president as well as governor, and I became a director of the National Union of Students, which is the NUS, and we represent 7 million students across the UK. That was me in July of 2014 giving they call it valedictorian, I can't even say it, my speech to the students graduating. Now, this is roughly when my journey with Vima started. I started in August 2013, and we have a quote that says success leaves clues. You all know that, right? Success leaves clues. Oh, some people are writing it down, I thought I knew that. We have a quote that says success leaves clues. Now, in between me finishing my degree when I graduated to starting my role as executive, I had a 3-month period to pass. So I was like, right, I've always became an individual. I didn't want to just be idle, because devil makes work for idle hands. I didn't want to just be idle. I thought, how can I make the most of my spare time that I had? So I decided, you know what, I want to start my own clothing line. And I didn't really have any idea how to start a clothing line, but I knew that one of my best friends, Chris Reed, at the university, some of you guys may know, he modelled for a guy who had a clothing line. So I called Chris and said, yo Chris, who is it that you model for? I want to get in contact with them. I want to find out exactly what they did to get started. And he put me in touch with this guy.
My Instagram crashed, innit? Instagram crashed. Hella likes, fam.
So, at the time, it's Joash Miller, for those who don't know, my roller. He could be my roller. I didn't know Joash at the time. And the Smart Boys, like a 2-week period, we were trying to, I'd ring him, I'd miss his call, he'd ring me, I'd miss it. We were trying to get in trouble for like 2 weeks. And I remember being in Tesco at 4 p.m. I saw him ringing me, but I'm like, when I go Tesco shopping, like that's a spiritual moment for me. Don't disturb me when I'm shopping. Every item I'm putting in my basket, I'm putting in effort and care. You know when you go to the fruits and you're picking out a fruit? For me, that's an important moment. So he called me, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna ring you back when I get in at 7. I phoned him back. Then he said to me, look, I can tell you exactly what it takes to get clothing line started. I was like, yes, he can tell me. Because I saw intelligence everywhere. And he said, but I have something even better for you. I was like, yeah? Really? And then he put me on the phone to this guy. So then, I remember when this guy here, Phil Fortner, was giving me the breakdown, I was absolutely mind blown. He started with FEMA was an acronym, and that sold it for me already. I was like, yo, I don't even know what acronym is. I don't even know what acronym is. I was like, I'm involved. It's an acronym. You know, FEMA's an acronym. I'm involved. You know what I'm saying? I said FEMA. So, and then to cut a long story short, we started at about 7. By midnight, I bought my 2-pack. And then after several Uvu calls like this, many home events. Let's tie. After many Uvu calls, many home events and stuff like that, I was fortunate enough to hit bronze in my first month. Then I double ranked to gold in my 5th month. And you know, we built a great team, and that's us meeting Matt Murray in Manchester. And what that's done for me now is that I finished my role as executive in July of 2014. That day I haven't needed to work since. Now, I'm not trying to say that I'm brilliant. I'm saying this very, very humbly. I know there's many other people some of you guys got much better qualities than I do. I know I have a lot of flaws. But I'm just saying what's that's done for me is that I love to travel and I love to spend time with people who mean a lot to me. And for the last 4 months of 2014, I was fortunate enough to go to 4 different countries. In the last 4 months of 2014. I flew out to Phoenix and LA to go see BK and the Phoenix Suns and head office and stuff like that. Went to 2 different countries in Europe, and I spent New Year's in Australia just gone. But how I got to that, it's not been easy. We all know that. And before I do, because the next concept I'm going to share with you requires a lot of attention. It requires a lot of attention because it's not something that I've seen anyone share. This is something that I shared with some of my guys and crew that I believe that I now want to share with everybody. Because it helped us, and I feel like it would be selfish for me just to keep it to myself and not to share it with you guys. So I've got this activity for you. When you see the next slide, I want you to tell me how many F's there are. You've got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 6. Keep yourself. 3, 2, 1. Okay then. If we saw 1 F, stand up. If you saw 1 F, stand up. If you saw at least 1 F, stand up.
At least one.
At least one. At least one, stand up. At least one. If you saw at least 1 F, stay standing up. If you saw 2 Fs, stay standing up. Everyone else sit down. If you saw 2 Fs, at least 2 Fs. If you saw 3. If you see 3, stay standing up. If you saw 2 or 1, sit back down. If you saw 4. If you saw 5. If you saw 6. If you saw 7.
I saw 7.
If you saw 8. You want to know the answer? AJ, like, yeah. I've never seen Jay like on the edge of his chair for me, with Jay's on the edge of your seat, but there's 7 F's.
Sure, yeah, because of the first one in the title, yeah.
7 F's. Psychologically,
What, am I an outlier? Yeah, that was an outlier.
Psychologically, as human beings, we tend to not pay attention to detail. We don't pay attention to detail. And that's something very, very important that we need to do. We have to pay attention to detail when we're prospecting. Even when we're just having a simple conversation, you've got to pay attention to detail. So the next concept I want to share with you is exactly what I mean by why I want you to pay attention to detail. Follow me. But like I said, equally as important, you need to follow the second type of people. And the second type of people you need to be able to observe is the people who have the things that you don't want. Observe people who have the things that you don't want. Now, the reason why I say this is for me at university, because I came from Cleveland, I was never up there. Everyone was way above me. I wasn't academically clever like that. So I had to observe the people who had the things I didn't want. So the things that I wanted to graduate with were first. And I looked at, okay, what are the people who graduated with, who failed did? And that was, sitting at the back of lectures. It was starting deadlines at the last minute. And I sat at the front of lectures. I decided to sit and start my assignments as soon as they came in. And these types of people went out every week as well. But then again, I did go out every week as well. But that didn't really matter. But as human beings, we always like to look at animals for analogies. We like to look at animals for analogies. And one animals that we always look at is like an eagle, for example. We all know the 7 principles of an eagle. Like for example, they fly, when there's a storm, eagles fly above it. Then we put that into human behavior and say that if you're going through a difficulty or a storm in your life. For me, I got my inspiration for this next thing I want to talk about from geese. You laugh, you call it a moist bird, you laugh. Like, what on earth, what type of analogy, what on earth can we learn from a web feet, bottom wiggling, bread snatching duck?
That goose, they run.
Okay,
They're flocking together.
Say again?
They're flocking together.
Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. Now, what happens, like you said, what happens during the winter time? What do these geese do? What do? They fly south. You don't want to come South London, do you?
No, they don't.
They don't want to fly South London. If they fly South London, they might come out fried barbecue or grilled. So what the geese tend to do, they tend to fly south. Alright, so how's that significant for us in Vima? How's that significant for us that the geese fly south in this kind of shape? What happens if we rotate it? Can you kind of see where I'm coming from? There's you. There's your left team. There's your right team. Now, if this can work, the next thing's a video. Now, the reason why this is so significant for us is covered in this. Lesson. The slide before it, for those of you who didn't see it, I had a feeling I should have put it together, is lesson 1. The reason why the geese fly in this formation is because their flight efficiency is increased by 71% compared to if one bird flies alone. Analogy, so how can we now translate this into Vima? If we move together as one team, left and right team, doesn't matter if you're cross line, up line, sideline, down line, sideline. If you move together as one team, rather than falling back by itself, that's 71% efficiency rather than if you do it all alone. Does that kind of make sense? 2 to 5 through this. When a goose leaves a formation, he feels the resistance of the air and difficulties of flying alone. So what's happened? If you don't stay plugged in, into the team and you fall back by yourself, you're going to find it much, much harder. When the leader goose gets tired of flying, he goes to the end of the V formation while another goose leads. So what does that mean in Vima? We can't just rely on Phil, Jane, Haroon to be doing this. Ever since I've been involved for 18 months, it's still been these guys at the front. Who's the next leaders in this room? Who's next? Because there's going to be a point where they are going to have to fall back. There's going to be a point where they're dedicated. They have been to every event, but there might be a time where they can't. What would have happened today is 1, 2, 3 couldn't come. What would have been no event? So some of us, we have to start stepping up. And that's also across the UK and also in your individual teams. You can't just rely on your upline leadership. Lesson 5, my favourite one. When a goose gets sick or is injured or gets tired and he must leave the formation, 2 other geese leave with him to pull him back up. They remain with him until he dies, until he's able to fly again, or they make their own V formation. How this relates into VMA. Someone in your downline is struggling in life. Your job is to pick them back up. They can't reorder the next month or they're going through any other difficulties. You don't leave them, you pick them back up. Any other, Josh mentioned it earlier, you have no idea what people are going through. You have no idea what they're going through. Just because you think they're slacking, that's not you say, oh, they're slacking, you leave them. No, your job is to go back down and pull them back up. And if you can't do it, copy the examples of the geese. Get your upline, get your roller, and 2 of you go down and bring that person back up. You don't leave anybody down. You go down with them and pull them back up. You do it all together. So I'm trying to play through here. It's going to be done in a second. That's it from the geese. So just to conclude a few takeaways what you may have taken from my little quick talk. Firstly, fortune always favours the bold. Always put yourself forward for something. You have no idea what it could be. You have no idea. Become a good observer, and lessons from geese. These isn't takeaways like, you know, something. This isn't necessarily as tangible as such, but just try to adopt these into your everyday lifestyle. And thank you for listening.
What was the inspiration for even doing that in the first place?
Because it's like one of the lessons from the geese. It's like you can't just expect. I've been happily. You know, it's like you call me Big Specky.
Yeah.
So I'm just a spectator. I like to just watch and let others lead. But for me, I just got sick and tired of like, you know, just not doing anything. I know that I have something I can provide. It might not have been to hit everybody, and that's okay. But as long as it hit one person in this room, then it was worth it. So,